Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. So, should the Lotus as a motif find its way into the parliament? Will you call it an ethnic symbol of Indianness, or would you call it unethical because it's also the symbol of the Bharatiya Janata Party? What's happened meanwhile is huge amounts of politics has erupted as we move from the old parliament building in this new special session of parliament to the new building, because there is also a new uniform where the staff comes into question, and the staff will wear or a part of it will wear a uniform which has the lotus motif as a print. What's happened is the opposition has called it political, while the BJP says it's Indian, it's a national flower.
A formal transition to the brand new parliament. A formal entry into the new building on September 19, a day after the special session begins. The occasion also brings with it a new uniform for parliament staff. Billed as a design with an Indian touch, the uniform consists of a magenta or deep pink Nehru jacket for bureaucrats. Their shirts in deep pink with lotus in print. Manipuri turbans will now be worn by marshals in both houses. Opposition parties not very impressed though. Congress has issued a sarcastic reaction, insisting it's still in the dark about the agenda for the upcoming special session, while all other sundry information is being rolled out in public domain. Congress MP Manikam Tagore questioned the lotus print on the new uniform, calling it a petty display of the ruling BJP party symbol in the dress code for employees.
BJP party symbol is lotus. How cheap we are. In G20 also we did it, and now also we are doing it. And then we will say that it is a national flower. This kind of pettiness is not right. Hope the BJP grows up and not make the parliament a one-sided partisan.
The BJP pointed out that parliament protocols come under the purview of the House Chair and not the government.
पार्लियामेंट का सारा विषय माननीय स्पीकर साहब के क्षेत्राधिकार में आता है, इस पर मैं कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करूंगा.
A sartorial debate before the inaugural sitting in the new parliament building, triggered by the new uniform for parliament staff. Bureau Report, India Today.
But the fact is, viewers, it's not just limited to a sartorial debate or the new uniform which the staff of the new parliament will be wearing. It goes a little deeper, and why I say that is because there seems to be a chronology on how the lotus, which is of course our national flower and is also a very auspicious symbol when it comes down to Hinduism, has been adopted in various ways by the government. Let's take you through some of that, because the opposition in terms has said that the government is pushing a party symbol. So is the government pushing an India symbol, which symbolizes Indianness, or is it pushing a party symbol, which is the lotus? Not one example, multiple. May 2023, the Rajya Sabha in the new parliament is being prepared or been envisioned on the theme of the lotus. You'll see a lot of lotus motifs in the Rajya Sabha, along with just the staff now wearing the lotus motif on their uniform. Other than that, February 2023, remember that huge debate which ensued when the Prime Minister inaugurated the lotus-shaped Shimoga Airport. Well, November 2022, let's also go back a little. Lotus unveiled as a part of the G20 logo, which we saw so much of over the course of the last few days. December 2019, well, a huge debate. The lotus insignia on the Indian passport as part of a security feature. If you're going to get a new passport, then you will have lotus as a part of that passport as well, which again led to a massive debate. And of course, now the whole debate on the issue of having the lotus motif as part of the staff uniform. So multiple examples, all feeding into a common theme, which as per the opposition is that the government is trying to push the party symbol as inception. However, the BJP says, what's wrong with that? This is our national flower and it symbolizes Indianness. We leave it for our viewers to decide on what side of the divide they stand on, but let's cut across to our guests. But before that, cutting across to my colleague Rahul Gautam, who's going to give us the details on the latest flashpoint where the adoption of the Lotus motif or an insignia is concerned, this time in the form of the outfit or the uniform which the staff will wear. Rahul, can you take us through the details of who will be wearing the Lotus insignia, who designed this outfit? What was the inception behind using the Lotus motif? Why not the peacock or the tiger? Because they are the national bird or the national animal.
Well, this uniform has been designed by National Institute of Fashion Technology, and in fact, these uniforms will soon be handed over to the staff members of the Parliament. And then what we are learning from our sources that the writing staff or the staff that actually take dictations while parliamentarians speak, those government employees will be wearing these uniforms. Now the Congress party is accusing BJP of furthering own political interests at the expense of Parliament's undisputed integrity. In fact, Congress party's MP, Mr. Manikam Tagore, has questioned that when you can have Lotus, printed on the uniform, why can't we have tiger or some other national symbol which actually shows that one Indianness? And the thing is this, that Parliament does not belong to BJP alone. In fact, the Congress party is alleging that this is being done, and only show the petty mindset of the BJP, because by printing own election symbol, they are only trying to showcase that how they have transformed, Parliament into own, partisan or a biased entity. And in fact, some of the Congress leaders are also suggesting that this is one issue that they are certainly going to raise in the upcoming special session as well. So you can believe, that this is certainly going to become a major flashpoint between BJP and Congress. BJP has already rejected all the allegations, saying that it's in the purview of the chair, and in fact, the symbol Lotus actually signifies the oneness and also, the religion, or Hindu religion, and this is what actually making Congress party, not impressed with this dress. So clearly,
well, Rahul, there'll be a lot of other people who will raise objections to the oneness of it all. But let's cut across right now to our panelists this evening. Joining me is Mr. Ratan Sharda, author, analyst; Rashid Kidwai, author, political commentator; Dr. Manisha PR, political analyst, someone who's seen many sessions of Parliament. Ratan Sharda, let me begin with you. On a lighter note, one can say, what is the poor peacock or the tiger done that it's only the national flower that finds mention on the Parliament uniform, the Rajya Sabha, which has been designed on the theme of the Lotus, the Shimoga Airport, which was the Lotus, and so on and so forth. If somebody wants to get a new passport, they'll have the Lotus embossed on it.
Well, on a lighter note, since you talked about lighter note, maybe Congress made a mistake by making Lotus the national flower. That is where mistake started. And coming to more serious issue, do we remember that Mumbai airport is totally designed on the motif of Lotus, on the flowers? Nobody saw this. This was during Congress regime. And what is more bigger piracy than tricolor of Congress, which nearly copies the tricolor of Indian nation? If that was so, Congress should have given up the tricolor and charkha and gone back to something which doesn't copy the national flag. It totally mixes up. And G20, I don't know why Congress riled up so much. G20, not once did I think that the symbol, the logo of G20 carried anything like BJP Lotus symbol. Not at all. Never I felt it. And Congress, which removes books, which removes people from the post as soon as it comes to power, I think it's very easy for them to come to power, remove the uniform that is created now. I have first time seen the new uniform on screen. Most of them look very elegant. And if they have a problem by highlighting these petty issues, they are losing the larger vision of fighting on larger issues. They can fight on that Mr. Modi doesn't know how to hold a glass of wine. They make fun of him when entire world is saluting them, including India today, the way it has covered the G20 summit very objectively. But they are out to even insult Modi ji. So maybe on a lighter note, BJP deliberately did it so they can rile up Congress more and enjoy some more moments.
But Ratan Sharda, as I bring in our other guests into this conversation, I'm going to come back to you on the point. There was a reason why, let's say, 48 hours before polling, all election-related campaign stops, which includes, if you remember, in 2014, there was a case against the Prime Minister himself who came out wearing the Lotus insignia. So one can't take away, what the Lotus means in terms of the party symbol of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And to find it resonate in most, be it the Rajya Sabha or the outfit or the airport, one will question that. So I'm going to come back to that. But Rashid Kidwai, I want to bring you in on this conversation. Why make so much of something? Ultimately, it's it's a motive which possibly the staff will be wearing. You'll have larger issues to worry about where the Congress comes into question. The entire Rajya Sabha is designed on the theme of the Lotus.
I think, Preeti, this is a very unfortunate kind of debate, but not without merit. Because the question is, it's all about timing and the intent. What is the purpose behind it? Nobody can or nobody should be against, Lotus, which is our national flower and all. And I find that, the dress motif is very different from the way the BJP symbol. But Preeti, if you remember a few years ago when assembly elections were going on in Uttar Pradesh, the election commission had tried to put a kind of lid over all those, elephants that were there on the display in Lucknow and various parks and places. So this is the timing of it is when the elections are so close and there is a total, trust deficit. All these things can be done through a process of consultation and consensus, etc. This government doesn't believe in that and considers opposition a kind of sort of enemy. So opposition is also giving it back. I mean, I saw the G20s, symbol and all. To my mind, they're quite possible. They're quite fine. They are not in conflict with the BJP party symbol, and so is the dress. But the fact of the matter is that the BJP also, it's not all that innocent. There is a purpose behind all this design that's taking place. And there is, as I said, there's a shortfall, there's a trust deficit between the government and opposition.
Well, you're right there. Manisha PR, I'll bring you in because it reminds me to take off from what Rashid Kidwai said, where all the elephants, there was an attempt to cover them. But there was also an attempt, if you remember, in 2014, where there was a serious call by the Congress at that point of time to cover the lotuses in a pond. But having said that, on a more serious note, there seems to be at least an inception where the motive or the insignia Lotus is concerned. The sheer fact, they might not be changing a nomenclature of it, but you want to regularize it. If you want to get a new passport, you'll have the Lotus, embossed on that new passport.
Yeah, I mean, given the fact that it is the election symbol of the BJP, these questions will definitely come up. Remember, in a country as large as ours, and in a country where symbols matter so much, a large part of the population is just above the literacy line now. The symbols matter a lot, and it does lead to a party affinity. Now, however, this stops there. How can you stop a government from having the insignia of the Lotus on the dress of those who are the staff of the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha? Ultimately, the Lotus is a national flower. So what is the hard argument? Yes, there is an affinity to the symbol of a particular political party. And let me also remind you that it isn't as if the Congress has done things which have been even far more. I remember, for example, the eminent Sarod maestro Amjad Ali Khan, he created an entire raga which was called Rag Indra Pridarshini. Now, can you tell me why this was done? And this was played in the back lawns of what is now called the Prime Minister's Museum and Library. It was then called the Nehru Memorial Museum and Library. So yes, there has been an attempt in civil society, in culture, and even in government symbolism to draw things closer to the symbolism of the ruling party. And I would consider this attempt to be just one of those. But what's a neutral symbol? What is the way in which could various political parties have been called and said, it's a parliament that belongs to all of us, it belongs to the people of India, and what's the best way in which we can symbolize the people of India? Now, that would have been a deliberative way, but remember, brands are not created by people, brands are created by imaginations of fashion stylistas, and they will work according to the principles who give them the work or commission them for that work, or according to how the terms of reference are laid out for them. Brands are not made by the people of India.
Well, you're right there. And Ratan Shah, I'll bring you back. It's interesting, it takes you back to the Hindi idiom, jiski lathi, uski bhais, or your circus, your monkey. Having said that, par for the course, every political party has done it. Manisha PR just elucidated what the Congress did. But couldn't have, Ratan Sharda, the sheer fact, you could have picked a neutral symbol. If you had to pick a symbol which epitomizes what India or Indianness is, which was away from a party symbol, one can't really miss the politics in that. There's nothing wrong in that, but is it ethical is the question.
Well, I already said that this could be political. And when everybody's playing politics with Mr. Modi and BJP on every minor issue, when the lion on the top of Lok Sabha is snarling, not smiling, if that is the kind of objection and debates that happen in India, I think what can stop the debate? Only 500 people to see this particular uniform, maybe 1,000 people. Congress has brought into open to the view of crores of people. What is the sense? Have they lost the sense of proportion? What kind of discussion should there be? Lion muskra nahi raha, lion ghur raha hai, lion snarl kar raha hai. What kind of debate is this? And now today there is a uniform which is to be seen by 1,000 people. Everybody sees it. They will laugh at Congress. And I think, as a right, I'm very openly said in the first comment itself that maybe BJP did it. Tomorrow, will you also ask to cover the hands of the people because hand is a sign of Congress? You can't wave your hand in the election rally because it's a sign of Congress. You can carry the things to any ridiculous length. Mindra ji used the symbol of Guy and Bachra. That was purely a Hindu symbol. And she was a secular lady, nobody objected. Now, if they chose Lotus and trying to exploit the symbol, as I said, Congress exploited tricolor all through their life. They should have given it up. That was the biggest mistake they made. And I said, I talked to Mumbai airport, nobody can deny. It was done during Congress time. So when Congress does it, Lotus becomes national symbol. When BJP does it for one section of the staff, you say it's a national shame. I don't know what kind of debate is this. But I think Congress lost its marble, getting into petty issues and losing the larger picture.
All right, okay, Rashid Kidwai, it's par for the course. The Congress did it in its time. The BJP is going to do it now. And somewhere down the line, the opposition is seeming to miss the woods for the trees, where they are picking up on smaller issues, which what Ratan Sharda says, and make a big deal of that.
Preeti, I think the issue of propriety is involved in all these matters. I think when you question Congress symbols of the past, election symbols and all, they were all given and approved by the election commission. So there was a kind of, semblance of legality over it. So I think, as I said, this controversy is quite needless. This could have been very easily resolved. There was a prime minister and leader of opposition, meeting over a cup of tea once in a while and discussing. Then remember, this would not have become an issue. I mean, the BJP is trying to be very, innocent. It is not. As they say in Hindi, यहाँ तो चिढ़ने और चिढ़ाने वाले दोनों गलत है. The opposition is wrong in nitpicking all these things, and the BJP is also, there is a certain element of bravado in it, what they are doing it. And Mr. Ratan Sharda, my friend, is justifying that.
All right, okay, Manisha PR, I'll bring you in for the final comment. We're once again going to give the list, Manisha, as you speak, of in the last year and a half, how the Lotus symbol has been adopted. For somebody who's worked extensively with people on the ground and voters on the ground, in terms of inception, in terms of recall, would you think this is smart strategy?
It is smart strategy because, people see this associated with Mr. Modi's government. They see these as achievements of the Modi government. And
we're going to play that graphic out while you speak, Manisha. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so there will be an easy recall that, okay, this has been done by this government and this symbol is associated with this government. So it's going to be a very easy recall. Remember, why just the Congress party? Mayawati built those huge parks with the elephants there. And what was intended was the recall of the elephant as a symbol of her party. And even as she has not been in power either in the state of Uttar Pradesh or anywhere in the center, no political party that has come to power has been able to eliminate that element of symbolism. Her voters remain intact behind her. In the Hathi they see Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So what I'm trying to drive home is that in the Indian electorate's mind, The symbol is very, very important. And
Right.
these will be seen as achievements of the BJP government led by Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister.
Well, one thing we've decided, we're very clear on, that it's smart, deft politics where messaging is concerned. What you make of it in terms of do you find it unethical, it's for our viewers to decide. But ultimately, it's happened. It's been par for the course for every political party where the country is concerned. The BJP, no different. A quick break. I appreciate all three of you for joining us. Up next is Rahul Kamal.
Is all well in Chinese President Xi Jinping's government? There is rising alarm with China's Defense Minister Li Shangfu missing for the past 14 days. Li Shangfu was last seen in public on August 29 when he addressed the China-Africa Forum in Beijing, according to media reports. There is no official word from Beijing on the whereabouts of the Chinese Defense Minister, but there is some chatter on Chinese social media about action being taken against the Defense Minister in connection with corruption-related investigations.
In a country like China, which is so centrally controlled, all this could lead to a great deal of instability, and that would be worrisome not only for the people in China itself, but also its neighbors, keeping in view the expansionist policies that China has been following with respect to the territory of its neighbors, as also in the South China Sea.
Such is the curiosity that the US ambassador to Japan, Rahm Emanuel, took to social media platform X to post, President Xi's cabinet lineup is now resembling Agatha Christie's novel, and then there were none. First, the foreign minister, Qin Gang, goes missing, then the rocket force commanders go missing, and now the defense minister, Li Shangfu, hasn't been seen in public for 2 weeks. Who's going to win this unemployment race? China's youth or Xi's cabinet? Hashtag mystery in Beijing building. The developments are being closely monitored, not just in China's neighborhood, but across the world.
So now we have no news of Li Shangfu being arrested, the current defense minister of China. Earlier, his predecessor Feng He had been arrested. Concurrently, there's news pouring in through social media channels, Chinese social media channels, that Zhang Yushen, a princeling, Xi and Zhang Yu's fathers had served together. He was a confidant, a protege, a favorite of Xi.
And the mystery in Beijing is truly building. The Chinese foreign minister, Qin Gang, seen as a protege of Chinese President Xi Jinping, was last seen in public on June 25. There was a buzz in social media that he had reportedly fathered a child out of wedlock, and his alleged link with a US-based journalist of Chinese origin. But it's not just President Xi's cabinet. Even in the army, the top leadership of the strategic rocket forces has been purged. In August, President Xi replaced 2 top generals of the PLA rocket force responsible for China's nuclear and missile arsenal. Rocket Force Chief General Li Yuchao and his deputy General Liu Guangbin were replaced by a PLA Navy general and a PLA Air Force commander. The 2 purged Rocket Force commanders have reportedly not been seen in public for months, amidst reports of state secrets having been leaked out.
elections, when all the parties are gearing up for elections here, and we see that this issue has come up while in the case was, the TDP's claiming case was registered long ago, and now when G20 is the main focus, this issue has been brought. So what do you say, madam? Is it a political vendetta that you can say, or is it, what do you call it?
No, definitely, just as we had raised our voice against the procedural aspects that had happened when they were arresting Sri Chandrababu Naidu ji, in the sense that they had not given him a notice, they did not take an explanation from him, his name was not in the FIR. It was later through a memo that his name was added into the FIR, and so there were great procedural lapses which BJP had questioned. But the rest of it, I think, since it's sub judice, and I think law will definitely, like for example, when Modi ji was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and even Amit Shah ji, they were also at that point of time, Congress was in power in the center, and they were called for interrogation. I think Modi ji must have gone a dozen times there, but every time, even as the Chief Minister of AP, he sat through patiently, he gave his explanation, and Amit Shah ji was also kind of not allowed to even step into Gujarat at that point of time, but they proved themselves. So there is a procedure, and procedurally, I think they will have to face it.
The British Prime Minister and his wife have been setting some serious couple goals during their time in New Delhi. This was Rishi Sunak and Akshata Murthy at the Akshardham temple on Sunday morning, huddled together under a red umbrella. An image that reminded many of the iconic Bollywood couple Raj Kapoor and Nargis. The picture that is now going viral came a day after this photograph of the British First Lady fixing Rishi Sunak's tie on the plane broke the internet. The power couple has been painting the capital red since they arrived for the G20 summit. Akshata Murthy has also been making headlines for her fashion choices. A brocade floral print full-length skirt and a white shirt when she landed. A fuchsia dress for a casual interaction at the British Council, a fun pair of red and white striped pants for a dinner date with her husband, and a lavender shift dress with puffed sleeves and matching pumps for a day out with the First Ladies. Rishi Sunak and Akshata Murthy looked picture perfect as they arrived for the G20 dinner, hosted by the President of India, Draupadi Murmu. With their Desi roots that neither of them are afraid of flaunting, Rishi Sunak and Akshata Murthy have won India over. Bureau Report, India Today.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies.
Co-presented by Century Laminates by Manish Malhotra, Fashion for your furniture.
Co-presented by Macho Hind, बड़े आराम से.
Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com, हर family होगी insured. Co-powered by the bold look of Kohler. UBI, good people to bank with.
World hails India's G20. %100% consensus on Delhi Declaration. Summit soars despite Xi and Putin skipping it. India versus China. Who won? Top experts decode India's G20 win. Special global roundtable. Big focus on Newstrack.
Hello and a very warm welcome. We are broadcasting from the Bharat Mandapam. Behind me, the lights setting on India's G20. It's been a historic G20. The Prime Minister wanted this to be the catalyst